PM orders economic empowerment centers countrywide. Annual Tanzania diaspora remittances hits 2.6 trillion. Good evening once again. I'm Agnes Tuniga. You can also follow us live on our YouTube channel, TBConline, and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter pages at TBConline. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa has given 3 months ultimatum to all regional commissioners to establish economic empowerment centers as directed in the CCM election manifesto for the year 2020-2025. The Prime Minister gave the instruction earlier today while closing the 7th Economic Empowerment Conference in Dodoma. Faida Ngaga has more details.
Apart from directing the regional commissioners to establish economic empowerment centers across the country, Majaliwa insists the empowerment will help to reduce poverty in the country.
Swala kuanzisha vituo vya uwezeshaji ni maelekezo pia ya ilani yetu ya Chama cha Mapinduzi.
The issue of establishing investment centers is also an instruction from the CCM Party's manifesto. Article 26, subsection K, it states very clear that we need to educate our citizens so that they are able to establish economic activities. This is one of the party's plan to ensure Tanzanians have financial stability.
It furthermore instructs the leaders to ensure that they strengthen women's economic empowerment platforms to enable them to fully participate in economic activities and increase their income.
Watendaji wakuu wa serikali,
government leaders, senior government officials, and those who are in private institutions, you strengthen privatization opportunities and fulfill the mission set by our President, High Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, in promoting the economy of individuals and groups in order to reduce poverty in the country.
On the other hand, the Executive Secretary of the National Economic Empowerment Council, Bengi Issa, says the conference aims to increase the awareness to various stakeholders about the concept of economic empowerment and remind them of the responsibilities they have in empowering Tanzanians.
Malengo ya kongamano hili.
The aim of this conference is to increase the awareness of various stakeholders about the concept of economic empowerment, to remind them of the responsibilities they have in empowering Tanzanians, as well as to provide experience in economic empowerment activities for citizens.
The Executive Secretary adds that the conference focuses on empowering for a sustainable economy to support government's intention to ensure that Tanzanians are empowered to participate fully in the country's economy and fulfill the goals of the National Development Vision 2025.
Na vile vile katika kongamano hili.
And also in this conference, you will launch the information for the year 2022-2023 on the implementation of the economic policy of the people, the policy of the year 2004, which also includes the policy of the participation of Tanzanians in the strategic projects and investments that are taking place in the country.
During the year 2022-2023, empowerment funds and programs have provided loans worth 743.7 billion shillings to about 6,064,957 beneficiaries, of which 46% are men and 54% are women.
The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Ambassador Stephen Mbundi, says Tanzanians in the diaspora have remitted more home a total of 2.6 trillion shillings. Also, the diaspora for the year 2022 alone have invested in various projects, including real estate totaling 4.4 billion shillings and have purchased shares worth 2.5 billion shillings. Here are more details.
The Permanent Secretary made the remarks during the official opening of a special banking services section for the diaspora at NMB Bank named NMB Kwetu. The Permanent Secretary says the diaspora make a great contribution to the national income, so the service will support the diaspora in the development activities here in Tanzania and eventually contribute significantly to the economic growth.
Jambo hili ambalo NMB wameliandaa ni jambo kubwa, ni jambo zuri na ni mwendelezo.
It's overwhelming what NMB has organized. It is a continuation of taken by the government together with its stakeholders, including NMB, in creating an environment in order to enable all the diaspora of Tanzania region in different parts of the world to benefit from various services that are available in the country for their personal development and the development of the nation as a whole.
On the other hand, the bank's managing director, Ruth Zaipuna, says NMB Kweku will enable Tanzanians living abroad to open an account digitally without monthly deductions, and when the customer opens an account automatically, he or she is registered for life insurance with a value of 29 million Tanzanian shillings.
Lakini mheshimiwa mgeni rasmi, suluhisho la pili kutoka NMB kwetu ni bima ya maisha.
Honorable guest of honor, the solution from NMB to have a life insurance to all diasporas who will open an account with NMB will have a life insurance which is worth 29 million Tanzanian shillings, which means it will facilitate the repatriation fee. Secondly, it will have funeral insurance inclusive of the escort ticket along with permanent disability. Therefore, life insurance is provided by the great partnership with the Sanlam Insurance Company.
NMB also collaborates with the government in financing the initiation of special digital system to identify the diaspora, which will also benefit the diaspora to know what is going on in the country and the various opportunities that are available.
The Minister of Works, Innocent Bashungwa, has inspected the construction of the 79.4 kilometers road from Katumba Mbambo to Tukuyu in Beira region, which upon its completion will boost commercial and economic activities for the locals who may then 90% are engaged in agriculture. Here's the report by Adolf Mbata, read by Kanki Mwaigomole.
It is in the inauguration of the road which has been a challenge for the farmers, especially during the rainy season, making it difficult for them to take their produce to the market. Bashungwa says the government of the United Republic of Tanzania under President Samia Suluhu Hassan aims to improve the lives of farmers by continuing to improve road infrastructure.
The Honorable Member of Parliament has told me that it is a very important road because if you build those 9 kilometers, you'll be able to cross the other side easily. And it will greatly stimulate economic activities and receive health services at Ikonda Hospital, where it is not far away. So I should instruct the manager of town roads to do a feasibility study of these 9 kilometers.
On the other hand, the Minister of Finance, Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba, asserts that the 6th phase government has been increasing development funds in every sector every year to facilitate improvements of social services.
In terms of health, more than 2 trillion. Education, more than 1 trillion per year. And agriculture as well is now more than 1 trillion. Where before it was 200 billion. All this is being done to create good welfare for the people.
During the inauguration, the Director General of National Environment Management Council, NEMC, Dr. Samuel Mwamfwenga, says he is satisfied with the design of the road, which focuses on environmental conservation.
Kuna ujenzi ambao unafanyika kwenye maeneo ambapo mito inakatiza.
There is construction that takes place in areas where rivers intersect or are the sources of rivers. So those areas should be considered very important, even for this road that has been done that way.
The General Director of the Tanzania Electric Supply Company Limited, TANESCO, Engineer Kisima Nyamo Hanga, insists power rationing experienced in some parts of the country will end up by March 2024. He made the reaffirmation earlier today while visiting to the natural gas-powered power plant located at Tegeta, Dar es Salaam. Here's the report by Henry Mabumo, read by Lulua Mohammed.
It has been a week now since President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan gave a directive to the Tanzania Electric Supply Company Limited, TANESCO, to ensure an end to the power rationing in the country. The Ministry of Energy is doing all it can to work on the directive, and today the Deputy Minister for the Ministry, Judith Kapinga, is visiting the power plant located in Tegeta using natural gas as fuel. And the newly appointed Managing Director of TANESCO, Gisima Nyamuhanga, uses the occasion to make a statement.
According to the information that we have received today, the deficit in the grid is approximately 300 and 350 megawatts at the moment, and the deficit continues to decrease. I had said before that it will decrease, but by March next year we will solve the problem of the deficit.
Judith Kapinga is the Deputy Minister of Energy, and here she directs TANESCO to ensure proper maintenance of its plants at all the time. The megawatts vary depending on the demand per day and the production per day. When the demand is high, the production is low. If a person stays without power for 12 hours, it will not be acceptable if the electricity is not restored on time. Electricity should be returned on time so that people should continue with their developmental activities. TANESCO needs to agree with officials with areas that are productive on the right way to cut off and return off electricity. And here she speaks about how the government plans to end power rationing. They should strengthen their system of providing services to customers. Will not accept citizens to spend the night in the dark just because the transformer has not been repaired on time or its meter has not been repaired on time.
Social protection coverage remains severely limited in Africa despite the existence of social protection policies. This was evident from contributions made during the International Council on Social Welfare Africa seminar that was held in Windhoek. Here are more details from Windhoek, Namibia.
Africa currently boasts the lowest social protection coverage globally, with only 17% of the continent's total population benefiting from these programs. This is in stark contrast to the global average of 47%. This deficiency can be attributed to the prevalence of the informal economy and inadequate investment in social protection, which on average amounts to less than 5% of a country's GDP. This lack of adequate social protection hampers the continent's ability to reap the manifold benefits such programs offer, including poverty reduction, vulnerability mitigation, combating malnutrition, formalizing informal labor, and eliminating forced and child labor, particularly in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic. An action plan has been put in place, the Africa Regional Social Protection Strategy, spanning from 2021 to 2025.
The Africa Regional Social Protection Strategy, therefore, addresses the root causes of coverage deficits on the continent. It also aims to support the adoption of social protection policies and strategies in African countries where there is no comprehensive social protection framework.
The seminar recognized the exacerbating effects of human-induced climate change and extreme weather events on people's livelihoods and overall well-being. These factors pose significant challenges to existing social protection and security systems.
And I think there are three issues we have to tackle in this seminar. The first is a set of issues related to the poverty reduction. And the second is a set of issues in terms of building an effective social safety net system.
But first assess to enhance the ability of social protection institutions to continue providing services to workers, and at the same time consider reforms in the labor market, especially in response to the impacts of COVID-19 pandemic, and to promote direct inclusion of people who are currently outside social insurance and social assistance programs.
In response, countries have been urged to fortify their social protection systems to enhance preparedness for unforeseen future events and to bolster resilience. The seminar served as a platform for discussions on a wide range of social welfare challenges facing Africa and explored potential remedial actions to address these pressing concerns.
The residents of Makete district in Njombe region have acknowledged the government's financial support of 900 million shillings to renovate the district hospital and improve medical services. Here's the report by Tatu Abdallah, read by Faidhangaga.
Makete District Hospital was inaugurated in 1980 as a health center and later upgraded to a district hospital. But now, after more than 40 years, the demand has significantly grown, leading to some residents opting for private hospitals.
I am so happy for the reconstruction of the hospital at Makete. I wish for the services to be as great as the buildings. In the past, the services and buildings were not good, but for now the services are good. However, some drugs are still missing.
As women of Makete, we're happy with the reconstruction of this hospital, and we ask for the services to be also as good as the buildings. In order to solve the challenge, the government has allocated 900 million shillings for the renovation of the district hospital.
Makete Hospital issued a special request of funds for the reconstruction of the Makete Hospital for the financial year 2022-2023. Moreover, 900 million Tanzanian shillings were approved by the government.
The chairman of CCM in Njombe region, Deo Sanga, says it is the right time for the people of Makete to be offered better health services. A statement that is supported by the Makete Member of Parliament, Festo Sanga.
This is almost like a referral hospital for our district. You should all be proud of it. From now, you don't have to be referred to other hospitals like the Mbeya or Dar es Salaam Hospital. This hospital has been long awaited for. With this hospital, I can surely say we have done justice to Makete district.
The construction of the hospital has reached 98%.
In commemorating 60 years of bilateral ties between Tanzania and Sweden, Swedish Ambassador to Tanzania Charlotte Ozaki Masias says Sweden will continue to cooperate with Tanzania to ensure reduction of car emission to conserve the environment. She made the assurance in Dar es Salaam while launching the first Kenya gas truck running on compressed natural gas, CNG, in East Africa. She insists Sweden has been at the forefront internationally in defending the use of clean and environmentally friendly energy, while the Executive Director of Scania, Ali Dar, explains that the introduction of the trucks will help traders to reduce fuel costs as gas is produced in the country.
This, but also clean cooking, agroforestry, blue economy. So we engage in many areas.
I mean, already at 85,000 kilometers, if you drive 85,000 kilometers with a diesel and 85,000 with a CNG, and we're talking about CNG, not even biogas.
The 30th Annual General Meeting, AGM, of the Southern Africa Broadcasting Association, SABA, is expected to be held in Zanzibar Islands from 10th to 12th October this year and will comprise more than 150 international guests. This year's meeting, among other things, will discuss in details the position of ICT and its contribution to the growth of the digital economy in Africa to bring sustainable development and display the great improvements that have been made recently in the industry. With 8 days left before the start of this meeting, today we are talking to Ali Saleh, a well-known journalist in the islands of Zanzibar, and here he highlights the benefits to the nation for hosting the meeting.
Manufaa kwanza ni kama nilivyosema pale mwanzo, ni fursa nzuri ya kujifunza kutoka kwa wengine.
This will be a learning opportunity from others. Another benefit of this conference is to find a way to connect with the others and eventually grow. Moreover, the conference will help to strengthen relations among us as Africans. This is because we are one. Since we want Kiswahili to grow and spread across Africa, this is the right platform for that. Lastly, we may also get it to adopt innovations or scientific inventions from others.
Before we wind up our local news tonight, let us now have a look on our today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Dear viewers, do not miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Time now for all the latest in international news. And here is international news as compiled by Dorothy Murray and read by Faida Ngaga.
The Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine has been awarded to a pair of scientists who developed the technology that led to the mRNA COVID vaccines. Professors Katalin Kariko and Drew Wiesman will share the prize. The technology was experimental before the pandemic, but has now been given to millions of people around the world to protect them against COVID-19. The same mRNA technology is now being researched for other diseases, including cancer. The Nobel Prize Committee says the laureates contributed to the unprecedented rate of vaccine development during one of the greatest threats to human health in modern times. A huge fire at a police complex in Egypt has injured at least 38 people. Reports say firefighters managed to contain the blaze at the facility in Ismailia. The cause of the fire is not yet known. Libya's Eastern Authority says it has postponed a reconstruction conference for the flood-hit city of Derna planned for October to give more time for the submission of effective studies and projects. The head of the preparatory committee of the International Conference for the Reconstruction of Derna says the conferences will be held in the cities of Derna and Benghazi in November this year. The Eastern administration says more time was needed to properly prepare plans for the reconstruction project. Nearly 4,000 people died in the coastal city when 2 dams collapsed during a heavy storm in mid-September, washing entire neighborhoods into the sea. At least 10 people have been killed after a church roof collapsed in northern Mexico. 49 people were taken to hospital after the collapse at Santa Cruz Church in the coastal city of Ciudad Madero. Police says around 100 people were attending Mass at the time. Dozens of people were left trapped inside the church following the incident.
Well, that was international news. Sports news follows shortly. Sports news, the Tanzania Professional Boxing Commission, TPRBC, has given an ultimatum of 7 days to boxer Hassan Mwakinyo and promoter Godson Karigo to explain why the boxing match that's scheduled to take place on September 29th this year did not take place. The Secretary General of the Commission, George Lukindo, believes the explanations from both sides will end the complexity.
Na kanuni zetu ni kali sana. Kanuni zetu kali mno. Kwamba endapo zikagundulika.
We have our rules which are strong. If it is found that Hassan Mwakinyo is wrong, that will be accompanied by a fine. But also, if it happens that the promoter is at fault, then we will issue a judgment.
Ikitokea kama promoter amepata tatizo kwamba yeye tatizo lipo kwake, vile vile sisi tutatoa hukumu.
Baada ya kwenda commission.
After going to the commission, there are other things that needs law. We look forward to fight for the justice.
Lakini la pili kuuliza matusi. Yote yale tutakwenda kule kuuliza kwenye sheria. Na hili hakuna atakayeingilia kati turudi nyuma.
The Tanzanian Professional Boxing Commission boxes to ensure that they comply with the rules set to avoid similar confusion which derails efforts to develop the game in the country. The Vice Secretary of the Tanzania Handball Association, Anna Paul, says that the main goal of the Nyerere Cup competition, which is expected to be held this month, is to showcase talents of young players and to promote the game in the country. Speaking to Tbcnews, Anna says despite using the national competition as part of honoring Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, but also it's a platform to take the game to another level.
The objective of this competition is to honor the late Mwalimu Julius Kambarage, to bring out the talents of this game.
The Nyerere Cup handball competition is expected to be held in Shinyanga from October 8th to 10th this year, with a total of 8 teams from the mainland and islands expected to participate. That is sports news, and now before we conclude the news bulletin, let's take a look at our weather update.
Hello viewers, my name is Josh Makwata from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. This is 24 hours weather forecast starting from tonight. In terms of minimum temperature, we expect the lowest minimum temperature to be 10 degrees Celsius over Njombe regions. In terms of wind pattern, we expect wind to at speed of 30 km/h for the entire coastal belt. While over Lake Victoria and Tanganyika, we expect wind to at speed of 40 km/h. Lake Nyasa, the wind is expected to at speed of 50 km/h. And Temwe has issued a warning concerning period of strong winds and large waves expected over Lake Nyasa, Victoria and Tanganyika. People conducting marine activities are advised to take necessary precaution to minimize impacts associated with the strong winds and large waves. And tomorrow we expect Kagera and Geita to feature partly cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas and sun period. While over Tanga, Isles of Unguja and Pemba, we expect rain showers over a few areas and sun period. Dar es Salaam and Pwani regions, we expect to feature partly cloud condition, light rain showers over a few areas and sun period. In the rest part of the country, we expect just a partly cloud condition and sun period. Now let's have the next 4 days weather forecast. Dear viewers from TMA, that is what we have for today. Thanks for watching. We wish you a good night.
That marks the end of our news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. From me, your host Agnes, thank you very much for watching. Good night.
TBC1, ukweli na uhakika.
Tanzania